So this is our fourth episode in the Remote 2020 Internship webinar series from Absolute Internship. We are based in Barcelona, Spain. My name is Sabrina, and I am the University Partnership Manager for Absolute Internship. And we're really excited to offer these sessions just to provide more insight and also a space for people to collaborate, get feedback, questions about the remote experience. So we're really excited to have 4 of our students with us today that have done an internship through us with the remote program. And today our focus is on international students doing a remote internship. So at Absolute Internship, we found that almost half of the students that enroll in our remote internship program are actually international students at their host institution. And I think this might be even higher than programs that take place on site. So we were really excited to see this and how diverse the programs are. And we just wanted to share their experiences with you today. So just to briefly introduce our 4 speakers, and then I'm going to let them take the floor and speak about who they are and their experiences. We have today Mr. Johan Ismail with us. He's a student from Queen Mary University of London. We have Miss Luana Evangelista Gama, who is a law student from the University of Essex in the UK. We have Mr. Xing Mao Yi from the University of Oregon in the US. And we have Miss Evgenia Grecu, who studied at Jean Kumping University in Sweden. So we're really excited to have them with us today. And I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves to you. So Johan, please go ahead and tell us a little bit about where you're from, why you decided to study in the UK, and a little bit about your experience.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So first of all, thank you for the Absolute Internship team to give me this actually first time opportunity to share my experience with so many people. And thanks to all of you for taking the time to join us with this webinar. So my name is Johan, and I'm from Madagascar, where I grew up, and Mauritius, where my family lives at the moment. And I moved to London in 2016 for my bachelor. So I did French baccalaureate in Madagascar before coming to the UK, which was a bit difficult in the beginning, with the English and the French transition. So yeah, it went well. So actually, I'm in my final year of bachelor in business and management at Queen Mary University of London. But I studied 2 years of architecture before doing my business degree, and I decided to change for so many reasons. So I'm planning to do a master hopefully next year in venture capital, and yeah. So at the moment, I'm also doing a masterclass in mall management because I'm very interested into doing retail in the future. So I'm doing extra curriculum apart from the university. Yeah. And so why did I decide to do an international remote internship? So I did 2 internships with Absolute Group. The first one was during the summer of 2018 after my first year of architecture in the Singapore program. So before that, I did a 2-week training in London to discover how it's actually to work or have an architectural firm. But I didn't really enjoy it, so I decided I should try a summer internship. And then I came across Absolute Internship via social media and advertising. So then I chose to do the summer program in Singapore. So luckily I did this internship because the internship actually helped me to realize that architecture is not for me. Then I decided to change for business and management. Then I did last summer, I did an internship in Madrid, remote internship, which was quite interesting. It's a company influencer marketing company in Spain, in Madrid. So in the beginning, I was a bit worried about the fact that it was remote internship, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's a bit of my background, and so now you kind of know me.
Thank you, Johan. Yeah, and we'll get into more details later about your internship. So thank you, Luana. Would you like to introduce yourself and just explain a little bit about where you're from, why you're studying in the UK, and your experiences?
Sorry. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Okay. So my name is Luana. I study at the University of Essex. I'm studying law at the moment. I'm in my third and final year. So I am from a Portuguese colony called Guinea-Bissau, which is in the west coast of Africa. I was born in Portugal and I grew up here in the UK. So I speak Portuguese, English, and also a little bit of Spanish. So I chose Absolute Internship because my parents have always pushed me to do something multicultural and international. So I decided to do this internship because I believe it would open me up to new ideas and also help me with my legal profession as well. So before I did my internship, I did an internship with Legal Cheek, where I talked about the legal profession and coronavirus and how the coronavirus has affected the legal profession and how it's going to be changing in the next couple of years. So I did my internship with Absolute in Ming Dun Law Firm, which is in Beijing, China. The topics that I studied or researched about was the General Data Protections Regulation, which is a European law that basically talks about data protection and how it affects Chinese businesses and businesses all over Europe. So yeah, that's just a bit about me.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Luana.
Thank you.
Okay, Xing Mao, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and, why are you studying in Oregon in the US and why did you decide to do an internship program?
Hi, this is Jamal Ye, and you guys can call me Clarence. The reason I decided to study abroad is I did a great job in my high school and I get a great grades in the college entry exam, but I didn't. For some reasons, I didn't enter a good college. And in my college in China, it's really rare and not good enough. So I just said, oh, all right, I don't accept that. I want to be better. So that's the reason why I chose the Oregon and came here. That's what I want. So for me, the internship at Reka Global is like I actually have an intern in the Bank of China, and I feel like it may be not the life I want. Maybe I just want another kind of the major, and I need to change it. I just want to make sure am I needed or not. So after the internship in the Reka Global, I know much about the major I studying now. So I guess maybe you can just give more patience on it. Maybe it will have something change or maybe you will love this major. And so I really appreciate that the absolutely internship can give me this chance, and it was really funny experience. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you for that introduction. Great. And last but not least, Evgenia, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, I am Evgenia. I am actually originally from Albania. However, I spent my childhood in Greece. So I decided after graduating high school to kind of study my undergraduate studies in Sweden. I really wanted to introduce something new to my life, and it felt like the perfect escape from the Mediterranean culture that I grew up with. So I obtained my bachelor's degree in international economics from Jönköping University in Sweden. And from there, I got the opportunity to do my exchange semester in Germany at Mannheim University. And the reason for choosing Germany is actually because I wanted to really kind of grasp the potential that the university would offer me, but also because I wanted to break the taboo that Deutsch culture has. And I found out that Germans are not really that cold. And if you get to know them, you create very strong relationships and friendships. And then I decided to have an internship experience with Absolute Internship in Barcelona. So I chose Barcelona because it's such a vibrant and beautiful city. I wanted to experience the local gastronomy, the sights, and in the meantime, gain the professional experience. I worked as a business development intern in a consulting company, which was a startup and trying to build itself. So it was quite a struggle, but it was the best experience that I could get. And then I actually did another remote internship. At first, I was supposed to work on site in Stockholm for Absolute Internship as a program coordinator. However, due to the pandemic, we had to shift everything remotely. And it felt like it would be such a great opportunity to gain a global scale experience, acquire cross-cultural communication skills, and at the same time boost my professional development. So yeah, I speak 5 foreign languages, Albanian, Greek, French, Turkish, English, and a little bit of German. And I'm currently seeking to enhance my global experience more intercontinentally. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Great, amazing. Thank you guys so much for those brief introductions about yourself and where you've come from and how you got to where we are. So we're going to be discussing some different questions, and then we'll also have a question and answer session at the end for our participants for any other questions they'd like to ask you. But I just wanted to discuss what cross-cultural skills were you able to use in your internship based on previous experiences as an international student? So you've been in several cultures already or countries, and how did that help you in your internship? So I don't know, Luana, if you want to go first, and then you guys can take turns answering your questions.
Yeah, one of the key challenges that I found was the time zone, because China is 7 hours ahead of the UK. So communication is very key, making sure that you know exactly what time you have to do your knowing exactly what time your supervisor is going to talk to you and the meetings and things like that. Also, familiarizing with Chinese culture and Chinese politics, Chinese law. I wasn't really used to researching about different type of law, such as law outside of the European Union or the UK. So for me, it was challenging finding out a lot about Chinese law and how different it is to UK law and law of the European Union as well. So those were the cross-culture challenges that I personally had. So yeah.
Great, thank you. Johan, what about you? How have your different skills that you have accumulated from being from different places and living in different places helped you with your remote internship?
So as I know, like I did, as you know, like I did a remote internship in Madrid for influencer marketing company this summer, which they're based in Madrid, but they work with several countries. So I was able to use all different language that I speak to help the company to deal with the clients in France, in Canada, in the UK, and the United States, but mainly France because it's my first language. And they had like so many trouble with the French market. Like they had like a communication problem with them. So for 2 months they were super happy to have me because I was handling all their problems. Furthermore, I was also able to give my experience during my internship in Spain with different cultural aspects that I have or learned, such as when dealing with Asian clients, because like in Madagascar we have like similar Asian culture, like in Mauritius. What kind of marketing strategy works better for them? I mean, like the one they trust more. And also, obviously, I learned a lot about different cultures in Singapore and Spain, which helped me to know how global organizations have to accommodate to various countries like over the world. So yeah, pretty interesting.
Oh, that's amazing. Great. And Zhengmao, what about you? I mean, you're from China, you're studying in the US, and your internship company was based in Singapore. But I don't know if it was just Singapore, you were working with people also from other places as well.
Yeah. One of my roommates is from the UK, and another one is from the Spain. And honestly, the reason why I choose the interns in Singapore is because my first language is not the Mandarin, is the Cantonese, and I just like if I can choose uh, I can choose the Singapore, and maybe there are some people speaking the Cantonese, but it maybe still like it still improve my English. The 0 months before, my English is not. I mean, at least it's not like right now. I sorry. I maybe will like uh how to don't know how to say some words, or just like with so much word like that. So I think the convenience and the patience, more patience will help you when you interns in the international internship. And anyways, it's a I mean, it up to different people and different countries. And like for me, when I came America, I just want to learn much more from the American culture. That's why I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. No, Zhenya, what about you, the cross-cultural skills from all the different places you've been?
So, actually, from the remote internship experience and being in a very critical situation where businesses had to shift their focus entirely, I really learned that maintaining an agile and proactive approach is very important to stand out and to be able to make the difference from the others. And of course, communication is an inseparable part when it comes to working remotely. For example, in Sweden, if you talk less, you're more mature, so you're better. But in Greece, if you don't talk, it's taken as an offense. And in Germany, you just have to know the right amounts. It's like the golden mean, not too much, not too little. So, like having all of this experience and representing it is very, very important. And especially now that I'm talking and having calls with people all over the world, I get to understand how a certain person conveys a certain message in so many different ways. So, this is very important to develop strong relationships and to have trust with your colleagues or with your clients in the future. Another thing is that you have to be quite flexible when it comes to working remotely, because this shows that you're able to do your work and that you make sure that you avoid any unnecessary conflicts with your supervisor or with your colleagues at the same time. And the last thing is, because certainly the typical problem that remote workers have is feeling overwhelmed and feeling like they lack motivation because they don't really have someone to hold their hand or give a tap on their shoulder and everything is going to be okay or something. So you have to stay very strong and optimistic to be able to show who you really are. Yeah,
No,
that's
that's
pretty much what I
great. Thank
learned.
you, Eugenia. And I think those are skills that many international students have developed. Being in a country that's not their own, or a culture that's very different from their own, and they've developed these skills as well, that will help them in a remote internship type of experience. So no, that's great. That's great. And then I wanted to ask all of you, what was the project, task, assignment you were most proud of from your internship? So whoever would like to go first, if you want to unmute yourself, if I'll let you guys go ahead.
So I can start off if you want. So actually during this internship, I was given the amazing space and opportunity to work with many different departments for example, for sales, operations, marketing, and content creation. And most definitely, my proudest accomplishment is when me and the other coordinators that we had at the program that time created an online education platform called Absolute Academy that Absolute Internship was developing at that time. So we were writing scripts, doing research, creating presentations, and filming ourselves teaching a specific topic. And it amazes me how, in such a short amount of time, we got the opportunity to finalize this product. And even at this day, when I have a look at the website, I can't believe that we managed to do that. So I think that's what stands out for me.
Johan, what were you most proud of from your remote internship? I know apart from taking care of all the French challenges that the company had.
No, so what I was proud of since before doing my internship, I started my own marketing company during the lockdown. So it's like a startup. It's a digital marketing company for e-commerce and local businesses. It helps like business to create, plan, and handle advertising and other form of promotion and marketing for our customers. So basically, we're just helping like starters to have a brand awareness. So I was proud because during the internship, because I managed to sign one of my own clients for the company in Spain. And it was nice to know because he really enjoyed the social public service that they were offering. Like it was a small impact, but meant a lot to me because I actually managed to sign a client for them. So yeah, I think that was the best.
That's really exciting. That's really exciting. Luana, what about you? What were you most proud of from your internship?
Yeah, so for me, my final work that I had to do was about Brexit. I had to talk about how Data Protection Act will be different after Brexit. It was a very challenging topic to do because there's not much information about what's going to happen after Britain leaves the European Union. But I received a lot of positive feedback from my supervisor, and he asked me to talk more about it and maybe publish a paper about the work that I did. So that was probably one of the most enjoyable experience for me because I've never been asked to do something like that. So yeah, I'm really proud about that. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And Clarence, what about you? What about in your internship? What were you most proud of?
I guess maybe it's the first main master we built. There was a really nice build to help us to in the future. Like we use this build to make the plans and make the direction, which direction we need to prepare. We need to focus on what kind of the campaign page pointiers. So what kind of the customer in future we will have more chance to communicate with them and get paid from them. So that will be an excellent work. And actually we did it in our like all the people to do it. So it's not like made by someone. So it really works, and I really appreciate that. That experience also give me a marketing, something to about the marketing to help me to think about much more. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I don't know if it's the same for you guys or it might be different. What was the project that taught you the most in your internship? So it may be not the one you're most proud of, but the one that taught you the most, or it could be the same. I don't know.
For me, it was a project that we had to do together as a team. So all the program coordinators were engaged to be able to receive the final result. And not only it was very informative in terms of the professional knowledge that I gained, but I really got to experience how it is to work in a team, even though we were all working from our own laptop at home. And it lasted 1 month. and it feels like I did work for like 1 year. It was so valuable that I learned so much about communication, about meeting deadlines, working under pressure, presenting the ideas, brainstorming. So all it was like condensed, and that's why, yeah, I think that taught me the most.
So for myself, the project I learned the most was when I had to look for potential leads. So they gave me like 2 weeks to find some leads for the company, and they taught me like to use several how you say it, like software that they had. So it actually helped me like to actually know about this software I didn't even know like exist and were possible to actually find the leads so easily. You just have to enter the location, the category, numbers of employee, net revenue, and so on, and you can just have a full list of different leads like across the world, and you can just start contacting them straight away, and it's like very interesting for how to manage a business, like how to, yeah, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, for me, it was there was no project necessarily that taught me the most. I think in general, there was a range of different things offered to me that taught me a lot. For example, in Absolute, we had sessions, like little workshops that we had where we talked about business etiquette, how to improve your LinkedIn, how to communicate with your supervisor, and time management as well, which is a key skill that you need to do a remote internship. So those were the things that I think I learned a lot during my internship.
And Clarence, what about you? What taught you the most during your internship?
I want to share a little story about my boss succeed told me. I'm a people like beginning the internship. If some people tell me, Clarence, am I okay to ask you to do something or ask you to help me something? I would say, okay, I will try my best. I thought it maybe is like the Chinese culture, because like we would not say something like 100% if I cannot finish it 100%. We just say, okay, we will do our best. I always say that, and I mean it feels like kind of part of my life. And when during this internship, my boss just told me that, hey, Clarence, stop saying the do someone's best, because if you say like this, that means like you just prepare for the plan B, prepare for the fail. No one will care about what you do to prepare for the fail. They just will care about how to get succeed and just do it. Go ahead and just do it. That's what he told me. And it changed me a lot, because I would say maybe it was a kind of the convenience or something else, but I mean this story inspired me so much to let me know, Clarence, next time when you want to do something, just go ahead and do it. Don't need to think so much and always think, what if I cannot finish it? Just go ahead and do it and try your best. That's no, just go ahead and do it. No, try your best. Yeah.
That's great. That's a great lesson, and also like different cultures too, and how you communicate. And no, that's awesome. Good. I'm glad that you had that. Okay, just a couple more questions here, and we'll let our audience ask whatever they'd like. We wanted to ask you guys, why did a remote internship make sense for you in your plans and in your future career? Like, why did you do this experience?
So in my case, it was a very transitioning critical moment in my life, because I was at the final year of my university, completing my bachelor's, writing my thesis, taking my final exams. And when I was communicating with my supervisors, she also told me that I could begin with a training, but remotely, of course, because on-site was still uncertain. However, there was an opportunity and still hoping that I would go to Stockholm, which never happened, unfortunately. So, and I'm really glad that I said yes, even though I had so many things going on. I'm pretty sure that I would never gain the experience and the knowledge if I didn't say yes to that opportunity. And that brings me back to the story that Jing Mao was talking about, that you just have to do it, you just have to say yes, because I felt like education and high school was and university life was not the only thing that is necessary. So gaining hands-on practical experience with this remote internship was kind of the both worlds combining together and getting the best of the experience. I could network, I could gain international relationships with people from all over the world, and I could do that all in front of my laptop. So that's why I said yes to this opportunity, and I'm very glad I did.
For me, it was quite similar too, but for me, it was mainly like the fact that you can make your own schedule is quite amazing. And the fact is like you're at your house and you can work across the globe, like this is pretty amazing because even from my university, they were telling me like it's quite important that instead of spending your time during quarantine, when you're gonna have job interview, they're gonna ask you what you did during your quarantine. Therefore, I think that the remote internship can help you to get ahead in a competitive marketplace. And also, it shows multicultural competence like computer literacy. You can develop your communication skill, be more independent, and global awareness. And also, like I mentioned earlier, gain familiarity with like different digital tools. Like I don't know, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so I think it's better to learn now like how to actually be more familiar with like all these digital tools. And the best for me was, of course, the master time management. That was amazing because it actually helps you to manage your time properly, which I didn't have the skill in the past. It was like a bit of a mess, and now I feel like I'm more organized, and this is because of all this remote internship. I'm doing university remotely, so yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. The same for me. I was quite bored during quarantine and I didn't have anything else to do. So I decided to apply and find myself an internship. My family is also very multicultural, so they've always pushed me to do an international internship, and I definitely gained a lot of skills. So it's definitely improved my productivity and the way I work, and also working remotely is something that we're definitely going to be doing more often in the future. So definitely doing an internship like this was an awesome experience.
So for me, it's like, the corona turned, so everything stopped. I was just tell myself looking for something to do, and otherwise the long summer terms will make you feel everything done. So I would say, okay, just looking for some internship, and here's a remote internship. I would say, I also can do something, but actually, I mean, it's up to you. Like if you really want to learn something about it, you will just do anything on your own and be good on it. But if you just okay, fine, I'm just get used to it, it wouldn't work. Any kind of the work wouldn't work to you. That's why I'm thinking.
Thank you. And then what new opportunities or ideas have you been exposed to since doing a remote internship?
So for me, it was more about exploring content that I have never explored before. I really understood that I love content creation, and creativity is a medium for me to show my best, which I really didn't know before. And it inspires me to generate ideas and work with a team closely. So I also got motivated because afterwards, after finishing the short-term internship, I got the offer to elongate and be an official employee of Absolute Internship. And that taught me that actually going beyond the fulfillment of tasks and just meeting deadlines, it is not really the key to gaining something in the long term. So if you limit yourself in these boundaries, you get to nowhere unless you want to get stuck in one place forever. So I learned that doing things and devoting your time and commitment with love is extremely important, because this ensures that you do something with your heart and that you really put your best into it. And another thing, which is maybe very important for other people as well, that maybe are looking for having this internship opportunity, is that you're not really bound to like every project or every task that you will be assigned. So I used this experience, and I suggest and recommend everyone else to use this experience, kind of a way to recognize what they really enjoy and like doing. Because it is not only the experience from the professional perspective, but it is also a chance for you to exploit your talent, your skill, and find out what you really love doing in the future.
For me, it's more about ideas that I had after doing my internship. So for me, like I really want to travel like to many countries and be able to work at the same time. So actually, the fact that everything is going remotely at the moment, this makes it possible. Like, well, that they will be able to travel, of course. It gives you more flexibility to travel, learn new culture while you can still work. And if you manage your time properly, so I guess that you can enjoy the destination when you are and still get your work done. Because it's at the end of the day, it's all about time management. Like if you manage your time properly, you can finish your task within like 4 or 5 hours. And or even like if you have a family, you're a full-time parent, you can even work from home without worrying about anything. And I think like this from the internship, you actually learn a lot how to manage your time and what are the advantages of being working remotely.
For me, before the internship, I wanted to work in international law, specifically working in the United Nations. But after the internship, I've actually decided I might want to change to become a legal technologist, and focus on copyright law, and data protection as well. So it's definitely exposed me to new ideas and a new area of law that I didn't think I would enjoy. So definitely, if you're open to new ideas, and maybe new opportunities, this is also a great these are great internships to do, especially if you haven't decided what you want to do with your career. It can expose you to these new ideas. So yeah, that's what I think.
Well, for me, I don't think this question so much. I would say like maybe, um, honestly, I would say maybe just have a you can have a more uh character just for like the personal, and if you focus on like it up to the people what you need. Like if you really clear about what you want to do in the future, and you really clear about like what kind of the jobs you want to have the interns, um that will be much work, like just help him to get a personal and like how to say that just like just just make a clear sentence and to help. And I sorry, I don't know how to speak about that, so I I don't want to waste time, so maybe
That's
skip this
okay.
question, please. Skip this question.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. And just our last question for all of you that were curious, and then we have questions from our audience. Where do you see yourself going, working in the future? What does that look like for you?
I'm in a transitioning phase between academic and professional life. So, of course, I'm going to pursue my master's in a couple of years. But my long term goal, and the main reason behind this, is the inspiration I got from my remote internship experience and my international education, is to actually build something of my own. So, build my own business. And I kind of have figured out what the fundamentals of this business and the core values want to be, and it's mainly creativity, innovation, and agility. So these are the three words that have stick with me since my internship experience so far, and I think I want to implement them in the future as well, more practically. And I know I'm too young to say that, but I mean, of course, other people have created their own businesses from a very young age, and I got inspired to do the same in the near future. And I really want to create a community where people can express themselves, gain knowledge, and feel appreciated and encouraged to produce and generate ideas. And of course, this experience motivated me even more to want to travel intercontinentally because I've never been outside of Europe. So I really want to experience something, for example, in Canada or Japan or Australia, because to me they seem like an entire different world compared to Europe. And I really want to experience that as well. So this is kind of what 2020 taught me, because it was a very difficult situation. And it taught me that I should never stop learning and I should never stop seeking change and difference in my life. So always outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah, for me, at the moment, I'm just trying to focus on getting more experience in Europe, in London principally. But then in the future, I want to go back to Madagascar because I know there's a lot of opportunities there since it's a developing country. And most importantly, my goal is like, since Madagascar is the 10th poorest country in the world, is with a few friends, we said that we already launched a charity company in Madagascar. So we are trying to, our goal is to have our own business, of course, in retail. That's why I'm doing like a lot of retail studies. But the goal today is like to actually try to make a big difference. Even a small difference would be nice, but start small and then a big in the country, because those countries are suffering a lot, and you can see it on a day-to-day basis. Like it's quite terrible in those countries. So that's my goal.
Yeah, so my goal is to finish my degree, maybe become a lawyer as well, and then go into any field. I'm not quite sure which field of law I want to do yet. I'm thinking of maybe doing, after the absolute internship, I'm thinking of, as I said before, being a legal technologist and working on data protection and other types of law that specifies in technology. So I'm not quite sure yet what I want to do properly, but definitely this internship has definitely opened my eyes to a lot of different opportunities. So we'll see what happens.
For me, I have a plan, like because the reason why I choose to come to the Oregon is for the Nike. You know, our the Nike boss is graduate from our school, so what I'm looking for is like, if I have a chance to work for Nike for a few years, or just maybe have some internship chance work for the NBA teams, I will maybe stay in America for 4 years. I love American, but I think something here I cannot understand and accept. So I feel it made me feels like I'm not belongs here. So I will try. Maybe after the experience, I will decide to go back to China, and maybe in Beijing or maybe in some big city. You know, I mean, here I would say welcome everybody to come to the China to looking for some work. China is a little bit different right now, and Luna know about it. And I would say, sorry, I would say like maybe in China, the big city, they will have a lot of chance to do something you want. So I would just say like, if I have a chance, I will go back to China if it's a really good work position. I will go back immediately. It's because all of my friends is China, and I miss them so much.
Great, thank you so much, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll answer questions from the audience. So I had a couple questions here in the chat, and then if anyone else wants to ask questions, we're happy to receive those. So one of the first questions we received, guys, was, what do you feel like you missed out on by not being in person with your company, if anything?
So during the internship, the whole team did during the summer. There were like about 20 to 25. So every night they're like calling me, sending me videos. Like they're having like parties and stuff. So I feel like they're like enjoying like as a team, as a family as well. And they're actually like meeting every day after work. They're working remotely from home, but after work they're actually meeting between them. So I feel like they had like kind of like they kept the gathering between them. So yeah, I miss it a bit, but they told me they're gonna come to London because they have some business here, and they're gonna hopefully we're gonna meet them like face to face. Yeah. So yeah, you miss it a bit, but well, you cannot have everything at the end of the day. It's a bit complicated.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Not being able to fully get the cultural experience that you would if you actually visited a country. And I think that's something you definitely miss. Because when you're working remotely, you don't get that feeling of being there culturally. So yeah.
Yeah, for me, also is the lack of that personal touch, that personal connection. For example, I receive messages on Slack that, hey, there is fresh hot coffee at the kitchen. And I'm like, oh no. And that's when it gets like kind of worse. But I mean, yeah, this is the daily routine. This is what lacks because you're on your own. However, the team is together at the office, working everything out together and talking and communicating. And you, on the other hand, are just waiting for a Slack message. But it's okay. I mean, there have been struggles, but it gets better by time.
Okay, great. And I have some more questions. I wanted to get through them. Someone wanted to ask if you felt that it was harder to network working remotely than being in person, or if you felt it was similar. And did you contact your coworkers after hours? That's what someone wanted to know.
I mean, for me, it was actually easier to the remote internship because I'm like like shy person, especially from the like the first time I go to the office. You have to dress well, you have to be polite, you have to. There is like a lot of office rules that you have to respect, and you feel a bit scared. But remotely, I feel it's for me it was more easier to actually communicate with the people because I had more confidence because first I was home, so I didn't have to worry about like going to the office, like find the right way and meet face to face. But at the end of the day, I think it's a different experience, like the virtual and like face to face meeting.
Okay. And then another question we had was, did your university provide any financial support to help with the fee of undertaking the experience?
Well, I know that my university does a scholarship program for students to do absolute internships, but I didn't do that scholarship. I think you had to do a competition or something like that, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, you should ask your university first. They probably will explain to you how to enter the absolute internship. So yeah.
I know that so some university they have partnership with Absolute Internship, but like you just have to ask the student union, and I think they might have more information for you.
Oregon just like us require us to pay internship fees, like, but it's not too much. And I would say like when you have a great chance to get an internship, don't worry. I mean, don't worry about the finance because the experience is the money cannot buy it. The experience you learn is it actually can walk if you really learn about some things. So so that's why I say yeah, just don't care too much about the money. Just think about what you can learn during this internship. If it works, just do it. Yeah.
Okay, great. And when did you start looking for an internship? So someone was asking, like, when would you start planning to do an internship?
So I was actually on my ending the first year of my university, and I was really hoping to get an internship opportunity once I finished my second year. So I planned 1 year ahead, and I wanted to do it during the summer so I could get the full experience. So I believe that the earlier you start looking for, the better it is, because also your chances are wider. And yeah, I just looked for different internship opportunities, and I wanted something that had to do not only with professional development, but also traveling as well. And Absolute Internship was the perfect combination of what I was expecting from this international experience.
Great. Did anyone else in our audience have any other questions they wanted to ask the students about their experience? Anything, feel free to ask. You can also unmute yourself if you want to just ask a question or use the chat. Feel free. We have a few more minutes left in our session. So any other questions you guys would like to ask, please feel free.
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Rowan from University of Rochester. One quick question. Were all of you enrolled in classes while you were doing your internship, or were you just doing internship by itself?
I personally was at my last month. So in 1 month in May, I was simultaneously studying and working remotely.
I'm also taking the summer term when I during the internship. Because this internship also will take some credits in our project. So so the school will require us will have give us a limit about the classes. And I only taking 2 classes during the summer term, and it I mean it will help you to be a better time manager, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, so I took my internship after I finished my final semester. So I did it during the summer holidays. So yeah, it didn't really affect me with my studying that much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty similar for me too, during the summer.
Thank you.
Hi, can I speak? Yes. Hi, Sabrina.
Yes, yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, how are you? I'm Carla Rodriguez from Universidad de Monterrey in Mexico. First, I want to congratulate you 4 of you, because of taking this experience and getting everything, all the knowledge that you have. Thanks to this, I'm in charge of the internships in my university, and I send students abroad. But now with this pandemic, of course, we are considering these virtual internships choices. But I was wondering if it was hard for you to get communication from your managers or your coordinators at the job. Like if it was easy for you or hard for you to get the instructions, or if you were sometimes feeling like you didn't get exactly what you needed to do for them, or how was this point for you? Thank you.
Personally, with me, at first I was kind of shy to ask questions and show the truth if I didn't really understand what I was assigned. But then I learned that asking questions, asking questions, asking questions is the best thing. So that's maybe probably something that the interns should know firsthand before starting their internship, that they are allowed to ask questions. They're allowed to feel unsure sometimes, because of course they are both at the beginning of their professional experience and working remotely, which is twice the struggle. So I think this should be a mutual relationship between the supervisor and the intern. And but also, like, as interns need to feel comfortable enough to ask questions and communicate effectively.
For me, we were like mostly meeting on Google Hangout, but I had some issue because most of my team were speaking only Spanish, and I speak a bit of Spanish, but it was very hard for me to communicate. But so I was just there was another French intern, so I was going through him. Who was like my median. But at the end of the day, like whenever I needed something, you just need to ask question, and they were like replying straightforward during the business hour, and we never had any issue with the communication. And whenever I needed something, I was a bit shy in the beginning, but then I realized that you just need to ask as many questions as possible, because they actually take their time to explain to you. They give you like some good tips and everything. So you just have to ask questions like you said.
Just like they said, keep asking, and I mean, they choose you as the interns. They should have the patience to help you. So, don't be shy and don't worry about so much. Just go ahead and ask, and just, I mean, for I have a friend that if you was like make some mistake, if you make some mistake during the internship, that means you can learn more than you didn't make the mistake. So yeah, just go ahead and do it.
Thank you so much for sharing, guys. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for attending. It was really exciting having so many people from all different countries around the world. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us and to hear our students' stories and experiences and what they're hoping to do in the future. We will send out a copy of the recording to everyone to the email that you signed up with for the session, so you can review it. And we'll also be sharing their LinkedIn profiles here in the chat. If you want to connect with them as well outside of the webinar, feel free to check to connect with our students as well. So please feel free. Yeah, they're posting it there. So thank you again so much for your time and joining us today.